Hey guys, so let's have a real conversation today about a question that comes up a lot. If you have some extra cash lying around, should you use that extra cash to pay off your mortgage early, or should you invest that in the market instead? Well, the quick answer is if your mortgage rate is below the average rate of return from the stock market, then invest. If your mortgage rate is more than the stock market, then pay off your mortgage. But chances are you already know that, and you also know that it's not that straightforward. And you are right. But before we get to deciphering the data, if you're looking forward to getting an answer to this question, I want you to congratulate yourself first that you're even thinking this way. Well, this means you have managed your finances well enough to have some money left over after paying your bills each month. Now, this is no small feat, especially when you consider that the average personal savings rate in America is around 4.4%, and over 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. If you have made it to this point, you're already ahead of the game. Now, to answer this question, what to do with this spare cash laying around? Should you pay off your mortgage or invest in the stock market? This will depend on a variety of factors, but the biggest one being your mortgage interest rate. So let's start with the basics. When you get a mortgage, you're essentially buying a home with borrowed money from a bank. And like any lender, the bank charges interest, that's how they make money. For the purposes of this example, let's start with the average price of a home in America, which is $400,000. Now let's say you borrow $400,000 for a home and lock in a standard 30-year fixed mortgage. The bank will calculate how much you owe them each month for 30 years, which is basically 360 payments in total. Now, every monthly payment has two components to it, the principal and the interest. The principal is the amount you borrowed, which you'll pay back over time. The interest is what the bank charges you for borrowing the money. It's based on your remaining loan balance. So on a $400,000 loan, say within 7% assumed interest rate, your total monthly payment is about $2,660. Now, here's the kicker on that. At the start of your loan, a whopping $2,333 of that payment goes towards interest, while only $327 goes towards the principal. But this happens because of something called as an amortization schedule, which is just a fancy name for a table that details each monthly payment on a loan. In simpler terms, banks front load your interest payments. So in the early years of your mortgage, most of what you're paying goes towards the bank, not towards reducing your principal loan balance. Now, this becomes problematic because you're being charged interest on the remaining principal loan balance that you owe. If you're never making a dent in that principal, it can seem kind of hopeless. Now, let me put that into perspective. Over the first 20 years of a 30-year mortgage, you're still paying more in interest than you are towards the principal. For example, by year 20, or after making 240 payments on this $400,000 mortgage, you still owe $229,000. Now you are two-thirds or 66% of your way through your mortgage, but you have only paid off around 42.75% of what you originally borrowed. And it gets even crazier. On a 30-year mortgage with a 7% interest rate, you'd pay about $558,000 in interest alone. That means you will pay more in interest than you borrowed in the first place, which will bring the total of what you pay back to the bank closer to $958,000 on a $400,000 loan. Now, if your mortgage rate is lower, say 3%, the numbers improve. You'd pay about $207,000 in interest over the life of the loan. If it's 5%, you will pay $373,000 in interest. But even then, it's clear that the faster you pay down the principal, the less interest you'll pay overall, saving you a ton of money in the long run. So that's with the mortgage. I'm hoping you are still with me till here because the next part is very interesting. But before we move ahead, if you like the content so far, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if not done already. It takes only a second and helps the channel immensely. Now moving on to investing. Now let's examine what stock market returns look like and whether or not it makes sense to pay off your mortgage early or to invest. So historically, the S&P 500, which is the benchmark of the US stock market, has returned around 10.26% annually since 1957. After accounting for taxes, a realistic expectation is closer to 7 to 8%. So here's where it gets interesting. If your mortgage rate is 3%, any extra payment you make towards your loan essentially is earning you a 3% return because that's the interest you're saving. So say if you got your mortgage back in 2021 when the mortgage rates were around 3%, you're going to be a lot better off investing instead of paying off your mortgage. But that's simply because you're earning 3% by making any extra payment on your mortgage. But if you took those extra dollars and invested them, you'd be averaging around 10% per year, or roughly 7 to 8% after tax, which is definitely higher than your 3%. Now, if you talk about from a market performance perspective, over the past decade, different asset classes like large cap growth stocks, small caps, or international stocks have delivered strong annualized returns. And since 2009, most years in the S&P 500 have been really positive with returns far exceeding 3%. Of course, investing isn't without risk, so some years like 2018 and 2022 saw negative returns, but over the long term, the market has consistently outperformed most mortgage interest rate, especially the lower ones. So the takeaway here is that if your mortgage rate is 5% or lower, investing is usually the better financial move. If your mortgage rate is 6 or 7% or higher, the decision becomes less clear. At that point, paying off your mortgage early starts to look more attractive, especially if you value the peace of mind that comes with being debt-free. For example, if you have a 6% interest rate mortgage, you are effectively getting a risk-free, tax-free 6% rate of return on any extra dollars that you are using to pay off your mortgage early. While 6% is a reasonable expected return from the stock market, it's shadowed by the fact that there is an inherent risk some years may have negative returns, that what we saw in 2018 and 2022. So that makes the decision kind of gray in my opinion. Now, one critical factor we haven't touched on this yet is time. How many years do we have left on your mortgage and how many years do we have left to invest? Now, thanks to the power of compounding, the longer the time horizon, the greater the benefit of investing. For example, if you invest $500 a month at 8% return for 25 years, you'll end up with over $473,000. But if you use the same $500 to pay off your mortgage, you'll save about $188,000 in interest. Now, why the difference? It is because the returns on investments compound, which basically means that you earn returns on your investment, which are then reinvested, and then that earns interest, which basically results in this snowballing effect over time. In contrast, extra payment on a mortgage reduces the principal faster, and your savings come in the form of reduced interest over time. So this has a linear reduction impact, which is not that dynamic. In short, the math favors investing over long periods, but if your mortgage is almost paid off, like you have 5 or 10 years left, or you're nearing retirement, then paying it off makes more sense. So as a banker, I advise people to follow two rules of thumb which favor investing. The lower your interest rate on your mortgage, generally less than 5%, the better it is to invest, and the longer your time horizon, the better it is to invest. Now, both of these rules are from a financial and mathematical viewpoint. Paying off a home is not always a financial decision. The freedom you might get from not having a mortgage payment every month might be worth more to you than anything money could buy. So in that case, the positive psychological impact way surpasses the financial impact. So the ultimate decision is up to you. What makes you feel better? With that being said, let's talk about the strategies for paying off your mortgage faster if that's the route you choose. I'm going to run you through 3 strategies, all of which involve applying extra payments towards the principal balance of your mortgage. Now, all of these strategies are relatively easy to handle, but before applying any of them, make sure to call your bank and let them know that whatever extra payment you are making over and above your mortgage amount should be applied towards the principal balance of your loan. So let's get to it. The first strategy is making bi-weekly payments. So instead of making one monthly payment, split the payment into half and pay every 2 weeks. By doing so, you're making 26 bi-weekly payments or 13 monthly payments, which by default adds one extra payment each year. This one extra payment towards the loan principal can help you pay off the mortgage 6 years early and save you $134,000 in interest. Now, second strategy is adding extra monthly payments. Now, if you add $100 or $200 per month to your monthly payment, this works better if you have a higher interest rate, say between 6 to 8%. So say, for instance, if you have a $400,000 home, adding $200 per month on a mortgage can help you save 6 years or $126,000 in interest. The third is lump sum payments. If you get windfalls of cash such as a bonus or tax refund, you can apply it directly to your principal. This can make a substantial difference to your loan. For example, if you apply a one-time $12,500 payment towards a principal loan balance, you will pay off the loan 2 years and 10 months earlier, saving you $78,900 in interest over a 30-year loan. Now, I hope this illustrates the power of making an extra payment towards your mortgage. We can provide a powerful, tangible benefits. Now, at the end of the day, this isn't just a financial decision, it's a personal one. Maybe the freedom of being mortgage-free means more to you than chasing high returns. Or maybe you're comfortable with the risk and want to maximize your investments. Now, whatever you decide, the key is to understand the maths first, weigh your options, and choose the path that aligns with your goals and values. So what will your plan be? Are you team pay off the mortgage or team invest? Let me know in the comments below and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe and check my other videos for more financial insights. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.